happening now.
Today, a special memorial installed downtown to remember those who lost their lives to COVID-19. Coming up, we're going to take a look at how people are remembering their loved ones. A Super Bowl trip or a cruise? Just some of the efforts states are making to urge people to get vaccinated.
Tech Block hosting a rally downtown, showing that the tech district is back. Is it also showing that downtown's back too?
The newest drought monitor is in. We're going to take a look at that, compare it to a previous one, and see what kind of progress we've made. And our next chance of storms is just around the corner. I'll see you in a bit.
More than 5 million clothing steamers have been recalled after more than 100 people suffered serious burns. We'll have more on that coming up, plus why some baby strollers are recalled too. The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, they will always remain deep in our hearts. That's the message behind a downtown memorial that pays tribute to lives lost from COVID-19.
Hundreds of red hearts placed along a chain link fence at the future site of Civic Park. Our Tiffany Huertas spoke with the relatives of those who died from coronavirus and shares what this memorial means to them.
He would be the life of the party.
From his laughter to his dancing, Sharon Swisher will miss many things about her husband, Joseph.
He would do any and everything to show his genuine love, for me, his family.
Swisher says he also loved his country.
He was a veteran. He served 23 years in the Army. He was a nurse when he was in Vietnam.
On Easter Sunday, Joseph died due to COVID-19. Swisher placed his picture in a heart at a memorial in downtown.
Joe will always be a part of San Antonio's history.
The memorial, called Deep in Our Hearts, consists of more than 3,400 hearts to honor San Antonio residents who died from the virus during the pandemic. Joanne Ramirez remembers her loved ones.
My mom is and will always be deep in our hearts.
City leaders attended the ceremony held this morning and encouraged residents to get vaccinated.
Our actions today and every day must focus on ensuring that we respect those who have been lost by protecting our families today and the generations that follow.
That was Tiffany Huertas reporting. Many people have been stopping by that memorial site at the corner of Market and South Alamo Street. They've been writing messages on the hearts and leaving flowers to remember the lives lost due to COVID-19. That site is open to the public and will be up for about a month.
A 9th person has now died following yesterday's shooting at a California light rail yard. Now investigators are beginning the process of figuring out what led to that outburst of violence. As more information comes to light about the gunman, the community now preparing to honor the victims later on today. Connor Powell has the story.
In the wake of another mass shooting in America,
I would like to ask that we all take a moment of silence for our fallen workers.
San Jose, California, in mourning.
All the families are in pain, but we are here to help.
9 people ages 29 to 63 were killed when a co-worker opened fire at a Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority rail yard Wednesday morning. Authorities say when police arrived, the shooter, identified as VTA employee Sam Cassidy, then turned the gun on himself.
Our deputies confronted the suspect and he took his own life in front of the deputies. So we know our people are heroes.
Officials say Cassidy was armed with 2 semi-automatic handguns and 11 magazines. Investigators also found, quote, precursor things for explosives in his locker and home, as well as more ammunition, but have not yet identified a motive.
Our detectives are busy interviewing and looking into all the particulars, and hopefully at some point we'll have some kind of an idea of a motive.
A vigil will be held in honor of the victims Thursday evening as demands for action on gun violence echo from California to Washington.
Congress needs to step up, and I don't pretend that any law is going to stop mass shootings in a country with 300 million guns, but we all need to do more.
In San Jose, California, I'm Connor Powell.
A man killed in a crash along Perrin Bidle Road has been identified as 63-year-old John Edward Kearney. San Antonio police say that he was crossing the street on Tuesday night when he was hit by a driver.
They say no one stopped to help, but investigators were able to see the type of vehicle that hit him based on parts left at the scene. If that person is found, they face a charge of failure to stop and render aid. We've also learned the name of a man who died this week while trying to get a Via bus to stop. He's been identified as 53-year-old James Alvarez. It actually happened Monday near Walters and Commerce Streets on the east side. Via told us Alvarez was chasing the bus down, tapping it on its side to try to get it to stop. He slipped and fell under the bus's back tires and died at the scene.
Do you know this woman? The San Antonio Police Department needs some help to track her down. They say that she has stolen thousands of dollars in a church scam. Take a closer look at that picture. They say it happened back on May 9th at a home in the 300 block of Blaze Avenue. This woman reportedly asked a neighbor for a donation she claimed would be going to a church. The victim handed over $18. And then police say the woman asked for more money, saying she was going to bless it. The victim brought out $3,000, and police say this woman took off with it. Police think she could be involved in similar cases. If you recognize her, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
A Texas law now prohibits law enforcement departments from authorizing television crews to film them for the purpose of creating reality television. Governor Greg Abbott signed House Bill 54, known as the Javier Ambler's Law, today. Ambler died in March of 2019. Williamson County deputies were being filmed for the show Live PD. They tried pulling Ambler over for failing to dim his headlights. After a chase, deputies used their stun guns on him multiple times, despite him telling them he had congestive heart failure. He died. His family believes had the deputies not been filming, Ambler would still be alive.
We have a reminder, early voting for the city's runoff election is happening right now. More than 8,600 people have voted so far. Districts 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9 are in a runoff.
You can find a list of polling locations and hours right now on KSAT.com. Early voting ends June 1st. Election day is Saturday, June 5th.
The race to vaccinate, it continues with prizes and giveaways and more. All they want is for people to roll up their sleeves to get the shot. ABC's Aaron Katersky takes a look at the big stakes in some states.
More than 165 million Americans have received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine, according to the CDC, but officials say it's getting tougher to distribute the shots. Another state announced incentives Thursday to boost the pace.
The ones that people are really looking for are the fishing licenses and the state park permits. And if those things don't do it, then a $25 Visa card to put in your pocket.
CVS launched a sweepstakes. The newly vaccinated could win a trip to the Super Bowl or a week-long cruise. On Thursday, the Ohio Vax-A-Million Lottery celebrated its first winners.
It feels like this is happening to a different person. I cannot believe it.
Abigail Baginski won $1 million jackpot. Joseph Costello, a full scholarship to a state university.
We were planning on having all our children vaccinated by the end of the month. And the contest, though, did accelerate our decision.
These vaccination bonuses are meant to encourage more inoculations that doctors say are the key to ending the pandemic. There is also a renewed focus on how it started.
I still believe that the most likely scenario is that this was a natural occurrence, but no one knows that 100% for sure.
There are two leading theories. Either the virus was transmitted through contact with a diseased animal, or it accidentally leaked from a lab in China. President Biden has instructed the U.S. intelligence community to redouble its efforts and report back in the next 3 months. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
A tech district rally could signal not only a rejuvenation for that industry in San Antonio, but the entire downtown area. Tech Block expects about 1,200 people to attend a tech district reboot rally downtown starting in about a half hour. Garrett Berger talks with organizers about what it represents.
The pandemic affected just about everything in San Antonio, including a key part of the city's tech community, the startups.
It was more difficult to raise money. It was more difficult to get new customers to come together to hire and meet teammates.
But with the city emerging from the pandemic, Tech Block CEO David Hurd hopes tonight's rally at Legacy Park will help reestablish lost momentum for the downtown tech district.
We're building something special downtown for tech workers and tech companies, but coming out of the pandemic, it needs some assistance. We need a burst of energy. And this is an attempt to do that.
But the event is more than just a milestone for the tech scene.
So we're closing down, from Travis to Houston Street. This entire stretch will be completely closed off.
Centro San Antonio, which is a sponsor for the event, says this is the biggest event downtown since the pandemic started.
We're just tickled pink to welcome hyper-locals, specifically employees who have left kind of their office space to go home, and we want them back, and we want them enjoying downtown in new and dynamic ways, especially in this new park.
Jeremy Moya has worked at Frost Tower right next to the rally location since before the pandemic began, and has seen how the scene downtown has changed.
People were nowhere to be found for like 6 months, 7 months like that.
More people have slowly but steadily begun coming out, he says. He's looking forward to attending the rally himself.
So it's exciting to see the city coming back to normal and, shine some hope in this, what's been a long year.
Well, the rally's supposed to kick off in a half hour or so. There's going to be food, drinks. We've got some music that's already starting to play, and there will be speakers as well. We're going to be live here coming up again at 6 to show you how it's shaking out. Live downtown, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Hey, we're feeling the humidity out there today. Not overly hot, though. High temperature near 90, 88 degrees. That's right near average. Our morning low temperature was 73, and we'll be in the 70s again the next several mornings because of this humidity. Del Rio now 95 along with Eagle Pass. Definitely hotter along the border, as it often is, but still 92 in Schertz, 87 Bernie, 88 Canyon Lake, and Universal City. We've got a reading there in Joe's backyard of 93. Now this evening, nothing to worry about. Partly cloudy conditions, humid, southeasterly breeze at 5 to 15. Will gradually fall through the 70s. It's closer to Valverde County where we could see a few thunderstorms. We're going to talk about that, the newest drought monitor that's in. I'm excited to share that with you, and a bit of a complicated or messy weather pattern to chat about. All that coming up.
Thank you, Adam. We have some product safety recalls to tell you about. First, of importance to parents, thousands of strollers that could put babies in danger. 12-inch size Marilyn Moritz with that. Plus, why millions of clothing steamers are being recalled tonight as well.
Parent alert! Ergo Baby is recalling thousands of its strollers. These are Metris models. The strollers pose a choking danger because the button on the harness release can break. Stop using it and contact the company. HSN, formerly the Home Shopping Network, is recalling more than 5 million handheld clothing steamers. More than 100 people have been badly burned by hot spraying or leaking water. They're the Joy, JM, My Little Steamer, and the Go Mini. They were sold online and at major retailers. IKEA is recalling 148,000 bowls, plates, and cups, the Heroistic and Telrika lines. They can break when heated and hot food can leak. Take them back. Nearly 800,000 folding chairs and bar stools sold at Walmart are recalled. This involves various styles sold under the Mainstay brand name. Several injuries have been reported after the leg welding broke. Contact Cheyenne Products for a refund. And slippery when wet. Target is recalling 58,000 Room Essentials shower stools. They can become unstable and people have been hurt. You can take these back to the store and get your money back. For more information on all of these recalls, we've put that on our website, KSAT.com. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
You're still ahead on the news at 5. The drive-in movies at La Cantera opening back up for the summer. The lineup of movies you might want to check out starting next month.
Plus, more issues for Boeing. The company's been hit with a fine from the FAA. Why it's having to pay millions of dollars and what it needs to fix.
Boeing's still dealing with issues over its 737 jets. The Federal Aviation Administration fined Boeing $17 million over a faulty wing part on some MAX 737 jets and next generation versions. If the company doesn't meet the deadline to fix it, it'll face additional penalties totaling up to $10.1 million.
Gas prices are at a 3-year high in Texas. That's according to AAA. Right now, the statewide average is about $2.73 a gallon for regular unleaded fuel. That's about $1.10 more than this time last year. The last time prices were this high, in fact, was back in 2018 when gas was $2.70 a gallon. Texans still paying less than other parts of the U.S. The national average, Now it's just over $3 a gallon.
All right, are you looking for things to do this summer? Here's an idea. The drive-in at La Cantera is reopening. Screenings start in June. There's already more than a dozen movies on the lineup, including Godzilla vs. Kong, Scream, The Goonies, and Selena. Tickets range from $19.95 to $29.95, and there are $10 community screenings on select Wednesdays. I'm guessing those prices are like by the car?
I assume so.
Yeah, you can view the full lineup right now on KSAT.com. That's why, when I was a kid, there were actual, real drive-ins, and sometimes you would sneak people in the trunk.
Yeah.
Because you pay by the carload, so you'd sneak friends in the trunk.
Oh. We know a little bit more about your character.
There you go.
Hey, I'm not shaking my finger at that.
You've been there.
I've been
there.
there.
What I'm talking about.
Well, different generation, different activity necessarily. But yeah, you cut the corners when you're a kid, right?
Yeah. Sometimes. On occasion.
Sometimes, on occasion.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, so let's get right to this. Let's talk about our weather headlines. First and foremost, the newest drought monitor. It is in. I was excited for this to come in, and you're going to like what we have to see here. Our weather pattern's going to get a little messy coming up. It's going to get kind of complicated. And what that boils down to is we're going to get the leftovers of some showers and storms just about daily in the extended forecast. So let's talk about it. It's a different type of situation. Starting with the drought monitor 4 weeks ago. This is 1 month ago. Look at all of that red, especially LaSalle County, Cotulla, southward on I-35 into Laredo. A lot of red even in northwest Bexar County. Okay, you ready for it? 3, 2, 1. Boom. Look what a month of rain can do. It wiped away the drought across the majority of the KSAT 12 viewing area, especially east of I-35 and closer to the Gulf Coast. Bexar County, it's wiped away. This yellow indicates just abnormally dry conditions. We still have the moderate drought Del Rio to Eagle Pass right along the Rio Grande, then over to Cotulla and southward down to Laredo. But this is a huge, huge improvement. About a quarter of the state is in drought, and most of that is West Texas and parts of the western panhandle there, then of course stretching down toward Laredo as well. So we've seen big improvements. Obviously, we still need some rainfall out there, and it's that time of year where we try to stock it up for when we get into the dry summertime months. There's some activity, a lot of it Oklahoma into Arkansas, north of us, but even this severe thunderstorm watch just outside of our area. We're talking just western Val Verde County here up towards San Angelo, and then making it basically to about the Wichita Falls area between Wichita Falls and Lubbock. Already a little bit of severe activity has developed there. It's unlikely we'll see the leftovers from any of that. If we do, we'd have a little bit making its way into Val Verde County later on this evening and early nighttime. The rest of it should fizzle out before it makes it here. So let's start talking about this messy or complicated weather pattern that we're expecting. Basically, what we're focusing on and what our rain and storm chances hinge on are storms developing elsewhere in Texas and then moving our way. First being Friday night. So Friday during the day, just like today, no big deal. Notice by 4 p.m. Friday, there's actually going to be a frontal boundary along I-20. That's going to activate some thunderstorms. Should they organize as anticipated, then they could drop southward and make it here by Friday night and into the very early morning hours on Saturday. Now this looks pretty heavy duty by this computer model. I think it's overdoing it a little bit, but it just shows that potential. That's just the first opportunity we could get some of the leftovers. We get into Monday and especially Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll have those opportunities for storms elsewhere in Texas to organize and then push our way as well. So it's one of those nowcasting situations where you got to wait and see where they develop before you can really pinpoint exactly where they're going to go. Dew points near 70, it's humid. Temperatures 80s to near 90, even warmer. Cotulla 98, Del Rio 96. And then tomorrow we'll start our day in the 70s again, low to mid 70s by the afternoon. We'll be back up to the 90-degree mark and into the 90s farther west of town. Notice how I boosted those rain chances by tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, put them up into the scattered category. And then overall for the upcoming weekend, Saturday, slight chance of a few showers, 86. Sunday looking dry, 84. Slight chance on Monday as well, but very humid and temperatures actually a little below average.
Yeah, kind of chilly. Thank you.
All right, some fans have no business going to some of these games, Greg, the way they're acting.
The case with the NBA playoffs, there are more fans being allowed to go to the games now. Now fan behavior has become a problem in Philadelphia in particular. When we come back, why Russell Westbrook had to be held back last night on his way to the locker room, and what happened to the fan who did the incident. Come up.
Fans, come out and cheer, come out and boo, yell all you want. We encourage that. This is just plain stupidity.
After suffering an ankle injury, a fan in Philadelphia dumps popcorn on Russell Westbrook, who has to be restrained from going into the stands. What has happened to that fan, and what does the NBA have to say about that today in Big Board Sports? Philadelphia 76ers abandoned a fan from the Wells Fargo Center, and his season tickets have been revoked after dumping popcorn on an injured Russell Westbrook on his way to the locker room for treatment. The incident occurred during the fourth quarter of last night's Game 2 of the NBA playoffs between the Sixers and the Washington Wizards. Westbrook suffered an injury to his right ankle in the fourth quarter of the Wizards' 120-95 loss. It happened with about 10.5 minutes to play in the game to go down 2-0 in this best-of-7 series. The incident was caught on camera and then replayed as event security escorted the fan from the Wells Fargo Center after being pointed out by other fans. Here's what Westbrook had to say after the game.
Any other setting, I know for a fact that fans, they wouldn't come up. A guy went on the street and pour popcorn on my head. Because you know what happened. A guy wouldn't come up to me talking about my kids, family on the street, because the response would be different. In these arenas, you got to start protecting the players, man. We'll see what the NBA does.
All right, here's what the NBA had to say about that today in a release. The return of more NBA fans to our arenas has brought great excitement and energy to the start of the playoffs, but it is critical that we all show respect for players, officials, and our fellow fans. It continues to say an enhanced fan code of conduct will be vigorously enforced in order to ensure a safe and respectful environment for all involved. The Utah Jazz have been able to get even with the Memphis Grizzlies to even up their best-of-7 first-round playoff series with a win last night in Salt Lake City. This time, Donovan Mitchell was allowed to play after being held out of Game 1, recovering from a sprained ankle that had him miss the last 17 games. And he got off to a fast start, scoring 12 points in the first quarter. In fact, the Jazz jumped all over the Grizzlies, outscoring Memphis 74-54 in the first half. But Ja Morant set a franchise record for the Grizz, scoring 47 points to help get the Grizzlies within 2 after being down by 20. Mitchell showed no signs of his ankle injury, though, as he scored 25 points in 25 minutes. In the 141-129 victory, the series is now tied at 1-1. Headed to Memphis. We'll check in with the Dallas Cowboys coming up at 6 o'clock and the Houston Texans in their organized team activities.
All right. Who is and isn't there?
You got it.
Yeah. Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back.
Mostly quiet tomorrow. It's tomorrow night into Saturday. We could have some thunderstorms, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's one of those situations where we have to watch it as it develops to the north and then see how it could impact us. So stay tuned and just keep an eye to the sky tomorrow night. Otherwise, the weekend, even Memorial Day, generally looking agreeable.
Thanks so much for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. We'll see you back here at 6.